Oh my goodness, we can't hear you. Good morning. Good morning, Luzon. Good morning, Manila. Are you glad to be here? Are you sure? Do you like the person you're seated beside with? Buhay pa ba siya? Please look at the person beside you and tell the person beside you you're amazing. Could you do that? Thank you. Thank you for pretending to be nice. I walked inside this ballroom and I'm amazed because the energy in this room is just amazing. As a matter of fact, there's a reason why there's an AIA badge in front of your chest. You know what AIA stands for? What? It stands for Amazing Inspiring Achievers. That's you. Give yourselves a big hand, everybody. Let me give you a little bit of a clue about where I'm from. And if you can guess the answer, then probably our marketing team will have a budget to give you tonight. So I am obviously 6'3", and in case you're wondering what is the secret of height, please try Nido Fortified and Cherry for Premium. But the truth is it doesn't work. I am from the city with the best beaches, the city with probably the best airport in the Philippines, the city with the best third bridge, and this is a takeaway or a giveaway, the city with the best lechon in the Philippines. Where do you think? Cebu. Nako, marketing, we have so many GCs to give this afternoon. It's nice to be surrounded by champions in this room. Are you a champion? Yeah! Do me a favor, raise your right hand, please, everybody. Tap the person on your right, and tell the person on your right, you're a champion. But let's be honest. Sometimes in our lives, we don't feel like we're a champion. Sometimes, right? I'll never forget, on the eve of my 27th birthday, I was so lucky that I was invited to go to my mentor's hotel room. And it's so interesting because I was in a sales organization back then, and I wasn't doing very well. And so my mentor invited me to his hotel room at 12 midnight. Now let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It is strange for a man to invite another man to his room at 12 midnight. Yes or yes? But I went because I had a feeling that he might give me a gift. And so when I walked inside his room, I was pretty surprised because he unpacked his maleta and I found this beautiful Formula One shirt, which at that time was a big thing. So I looked into the shirt and I go like, that's really nice. And he says, do you like it? I said, yeah. So I put on the shirt, I buttoned it down, and I said to myself, wow, bagay na bagay. But I started to remove the buttons because I did not feel worthy to wear that shirt. So my mentor said, do you like the shirt? And I said, yes, I love the shirt. He says, if you love the shirt, then it's yours. I said, whoa, why? He says, because Adrian, only champions get to wear that shirt. And in my eyes, you're a champion. My dear friends, sometimes in life, when you and I do not believe in ourselves, it takes someone else to believe in you because they see something in you that you never saw something in yourself. Wow. And I want to tell you, my dear friends, that because of his belief in me, the following year, within 11 months, I was fortunate to make my first million and make it to MDRT in our own organization back then. That is the power of belief. Raise your right hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. I want you to tap the person on your right. Tell the person right, maniwala ka sa sarili mo. Raise your left hand naman. Come on. Gumanti ka. Tap the person naman on your left. Tell the person on your left, hoy, magbago ka na. You know, friends, I am so glad I am not wearing this shirt anymore. Kasi baka mamaya nalapit ka sa akin, you're gonna say, excuse me, 1,000 premium. Hopefully not. Now we do know for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes, especially after a strong year, we have a tendency to slow down a bit, especially if we've achieved our goals. But I want to remind you of the story that I encountered just very recently about an NBA Hall of Famer whose name is Chris Bosh. This guy was part of the amazing USA Dream Team. It's a privilege to be a part of the Dream Team, especially if you're handpicked. And so Chris Bosh said that I wanted to make a very good leadership impression. So sabi po niya, he is going to show up in the basketball practice ahead of everybody else at 5 in the morning. What time? 5 in the morning. And so he gets up really early in the morning, but as he arrives in the gym, much to his shock, there's another man who happens to be ahead of him. And that person is my friend, Kobe Bryant. I taught him how to play basketball, by the way. Just kidding. What he saw, ladies and gentlemen, was even more shocking, because Kobe Bryant was drenched in sweat and he had ice packs on his knees. And so he realized that Kobe wasn't just there ahead, but Kobe had worked out already. And so what he saw in that particular morning was incomprehensible to him. And this is what he realized. He said, Kobe Bryant just lost in the NBA Finals a few days back, and yet he still shows up first in practice. Well, he, on the other hand, has been away from the game for a couple of months because they were eliminated, and yet he still felt tired. This is what Chris Bosh realized. He says, champions are not defined by their successes, but champions are defined in how they get up each time they fall.
Amen.
And so I want to remind everybody in this room today, maybe the first 3/4 of your business wasn't just as good, but a champion is not defined in a title that is given to you. A champion is defined when you get back up each time you fall, my dear friends. And if you have succeeded in the first 3/4 of the year, it doesn't mean that you should slow down. Why? Because champions are not just starters, they are also finishers. In this room today, my dear friends, we are flooded by champions seated beside you. Do you believe that you are a champion? Yes. Give yourselves a big hand once again. I want to welcome you to a short talk that I've entitled Momentum the Final Lap. What's it called? Momentum the Final Lap. And we want to make sure that we end today strong. You guys have heard from amazing speakers, from your bosses and your executives and leaders, and they provided you with the facts, the numbers, and the figures. Nabigay po nila sa inyo yung mga hardware. And my responsibility today is to make sure that you have software installed in the DNA of your heart so that you get out of this place bigger, better, and stronger. And by the way, I just want to say that the real battle, my friend, is not inside this ballroom, but it's outside. It's tomorrow when you and I are no longer together. True or true? We don't want the sizzle to fizzle, because you guys entered a very exciting event, but when you go back to work, bigla na lang nawala. We want to ask each other, what must we do to ensure that we stay in momentum? Everybody say momentum. So what is momentum? Well, momentum basically is a series of concentrated events and efforts that you and I put together so that we can achieve results. However, we also have to make this realization why you and I need to make a final push. We need to make a final push because we want to challenge ourselves from something called mediocrity. Everybody say mediocrity. You see, friends, you and I, we were positioned in our thinking when we were young that excellence, which is the opposite of mediocrity, is all about competing and beating somebody else. Not so. The true definition of excellence is when you compete against yourself, because the hardest person to lead is yourself. It's not about others, it's about you. Your last sale was last month. And so you and I need to have this mentality of being limitless, because records were meant to be broken, not maintained. And that's what excellence is all about. Everybody say excellence. However, there are three enemies that you and I face every time we experience something called momentum. The first one of which is called excuses. Everybody say excuses. Ano ang excuse mo? Look at the person beside you. Scan now. Look at the person beside you. What do you think are the excuses of that person? Can I just say one thing? I want to appreciate Luzon Province. I want to appreciate Luzon Province. Walang buhay. If you do not say anything, we will convert your chairs into electric chairs. I want to appreciate Luzon Province. Bakit? Because you showed up. Because you knew na kahit malayong Esamora, you will never make an excuse to be here. You understand that distance is not enough to stop you. It is not a barrier, but it is an opportunity for you to move forward. Why? Because today, ladies and gentlemen, excuses are no longer excusable. Hello? Hello? The reason why you and I make excuses is because we want to justify circumstances and inadequacies in our lives. We always make excuses about the traffic. We make excuses about the new digital platform that we have. We make excuses about government. We make excuses about, dati mas madali yung face-to-face kasi alam mo yun, trust yung negosyo natin, pero yung digital na, hindi ko naman alam kung paano mag-digital. Ano na yung ibig sabihin ng app? We make all these kinds of excuses, when in reality, our excuses, friends, can become our reality too. Yes or yes? Excuses, my friends, are no longer excusable. Please elbow the person beside you. That person pretending to listen to me. Pakisabi nga, wala ka ng excuses. Raise your left hand, please, everybody. Tell the person on your left. Tell the person on your left, hoy, mag-diet ka na. And number two, procrastination. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng procrastination? Procrastination is waiting for a perfect moment before you take action. You're always looking for what's ideal instead of what's real. Procrastination, my friends, is when you say to yourself, wala pa akong gana. Especially when it's a Monday morning meeting. Ako, magkikita naman kami ng AM ko. Pagdating ko sa opisina, wala namang ginagawa. Kundi, may benta ka na ba? Nako, kung wala kang case, nako, baka mawala ka dito. So what do? You wait for that perfect moment in time. And then later on, when things have to be rushed, what do? You crowd. Nakakatawa yung behavior ng bawat Pilipino. First few days of a new month like October, what do you play in your iTunes or your Spotify? You play Then and Then. You play rock music. But on the third week, kung wala pang benta, what do? You play Christian music. Somebody said amen. That must be true. 3 days before, hindi mo pa nakihit yung quota mo, yung target mo, what do? Nagdadasal ka na. You're closer to God like never before. And then on the last day, finally, you make it to the finish line. But sometimes we come up short. And so what do? We show up in front of the office, we talk to our AMs, and we sing a different song. I did my best. Yung kumakanta, that is their soundtrack. But sometimes our best is not good enough because we like to procrastinate. Can I tell you something, friends? There are things in this life that are not worth procrastinating for. We age every single day. And can I tell you something, friends? Adversity will come knocking at your door unannounced. It will show up. And if you're not ready because of procrastination, things will affect your life and the people that you love. Yes or yes? Please elbow the person to your right naman. Kumanti ka. Tell the person beside you, huwag kang procrastinator. Look at the other person on the other side. Sabihin mo naman, look who's talking. And of course, unbelief. Things are rather uncertain. You're not sure what tomorrow holds. And so uncertainty leads you to inaction. Sometimes we doubt ourselves. Sometimes we're unclear. Can I just say this? Friends, clarity, listen to this, write this down. This is so important. You will not find this on the slides. Clarity leads to your trajectory. If you're unclear about tomorrow, it's going to affect your future. I want to tell you another thing. Most people today are so focused on eyesight. Eyesight is what's in front of you. Foresight is what's ahead of you. Hindsight is when you begin to make those regrets because you should have, you could have, you might have. That's called hindsight. Let us be men and women of clarity. We have to have belief. Yes or yes? So right now I want you to bring out your phones. I want you to bring out your phones, everybody. Let's play a quick game. Okay, and I'm going to ask support from our team in the back. By the way, guys, hindi nyo lang alam the massive production required to make this event happen. There are people, men and women in back, who have not slept. Ang lalim ng mga eye bags nila. And yet they're smiling in the back because what keeps them alive is coffee. So give them a round of applause. I need you guys to go with me to menti.com, all right? And I want you guys to type this in, 3130-3150, menti.com. Bring out your phones, please, everybody. Stop Candy Crushing or Minecrafting. If you are Candy Crushing, you must be a senior citizen because that's for dexterity, all right? I want you guys to go right now to menti.com, 3130-3150. If you're there, shout yes. Let's switch the slides, please. And what we want to do is we want to show on the screen, in your opinion, ano ba talaga yung reasons why people lose momentum? Why do people lose momentum? Can we switch the slides, please? There we go. All right, I see it on my screen. All right, resistance, goal, yeah. Goal, good results, resistance. Ano ba? Uh-oh, it's uploading. Yan, ang dami mga sagot. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. It's still loading, guys. Pasensya na. The internet in SM is not as good, but I thank God that the people in AIA are just so fast. Okay, can we play that? Ayan. Okay, ang dami na, ayan. Lack of motivation, excuses, perseverance. Guys, the question is, what pushes momentum? Ayan. Okay? Determination. Okay, guys, please check them on your spelling. Okay? Good working relationship, limited beliefs, targets, etc., etc. Everyone is right. Okay, very good. Ang dami. Support from managers. How many of you love your managers? Raise your hand. Talaga? Sure? Tabi mo lang siya. Really? Okay. And, okay, very good. Dreams. Okay, very good. Thank you. Give yourselves a big hand, everybody. Thank you. Let's switch back. I'm here to submit to all of you, my dear friends, 3 things that can actually build momentum for all of you as we finish the year strong and approach our final lap. 3 things. I want you guys to write this down and take pictures. And don't worry, guys, I will get down the stage because I know if I'm on stage and you're taking pictures, I am the worst photo bomber you've ever seen. Okay? I want to share with you 3 areas that will actually bulletproof and provide you with the right momentum as we end the year strong. Unshakable belief, unstoppable drive, unbreakable commitment. Let's do it together, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Unshakable,
Belief,
unstoppable,
drive,
unbreakable
commitment.
commitment. I want to talk about these things one at a time for all of you today. Game to that? When we talk about unshakable belief, it is so important for us to remember that the first person you need to convince to do this business is yourself. Sometimes the hardest person to convince is yourself. Sometimes wala kang tiwala sa sarili mo. Yes or yes? Sometimes you need to have what we call borrowed confidence from your AM, from your UM, or from your leaders, right? We all need to believe in ourselves. And I mentioned to you guys a while ago that there was a mentor who believed in me more than I believed in myself, and that changed the trajectory of my career. But one of the things that we have to be reminded of is this. What makes you doubt yourself? What makes you doubt yourself? I'll tell you what, comparison. Comparison. Comparison makes you doubt yourself. Ask me why.
Why?
Because comparison paralyzes potential. We're always saying, mas magaling siya. Sales comes naturally for her. So you're too busy comparing yourself to somebody else that you're no longer focused on your own business or lane. Can I tell you a quick story? Can I tell you a quick story? Yes. Once upon a time, there was a lady who was complaining to the lead pastor of the church. Sabi niya, ayoko naman church. Sabi ng pastor, bakit naman? Ang dami mga hypocrites, ang dami mga sinners. Imagine you are preaching in front, somebody is using their phone. And then there's a husband and wife pretending to be lovers, but they actually hate each other. There's so many hypocrites in this church. I want to quit the church. Here's what the pastor said. Before you decide to quit the church, do me a favor. She said, what's that? Next Sunday, come early, and I will ask you to do something for me. So she did. So she came the following week, super duper early. And so what happened? The pastor said, I want you to hold on to this glass. And I want you to fill it up with water to the brim. And I'd like you to go around the entire ballroom or the entire church 3 times. Make sure that nothing spills. Sabi ng babae, kaya mo yan. So that's exactly what she did. So she went around the church three times. And at the end of the service, Nico, guess what happens? She comes back to the pastor and she hands over the glass. And here's what the pastor said. So what happened? She said, Pastor, nothing spilled. Not a single drop. And so the pastor goes like this, why? Bakit? She said, are you kidding, Pastor? I was so focused on looking at this glass to make sure na walang tulo. Here's what the pastor said. Exactly. I want you to focus on yourself instead of meddling with other people's businesses, because comparison poisons your potential. Are you following, guys? Stop comparing yourself to other people. If you're an agency manager, love the 10 people that you have. Don't compare yourself with somebody else who's got 50. Your results will be different if you are focused on the people that you care about. You will never succeed if you don't believe. The second thing you have to realize is industry. And I think Kelvin has done everything to share the power of this industry. And by the way, this is Nick Vujicic, who was born into this world without arms and legs. And he said, my life is a waste. But guess what? He believed. He didn't compare himself to people with perfect bodies. And guess what? Today, he's happily married to the woman of his dreams with perfect body parts. And he is one of the most successful motivational speakers in the world. Excuses are not excusable. Are you with me? I want to tell you about the crazy, amazing things happening in our industry. Look at the numbers. I don't have the time to share with all of you, but pretty much all the leaders who spoke on stage today, they're all pointing towards the same direction, that everyone today needs our product. Everyone wants to make sure that they're safe from uncertainty. There is no question about that. But guess what? Uncertain people can never convince uncertain people. You have to be certain yourself. You have to be sure yourself. Are you with me? Tama na yung hashtag sana all. Wala kang makukuha dyan. Right? That's from the Philippine Life Insurance Association, by the way. All right? And then, we have to understand, friends, that everyone today needs what we call a financial spare tire. What kind of spare tire? Financial spare tire. What does that mean? People today want to make sure that the future is protected. You know what, friends? I am almost 50 years old. I have 2 sons. One is 9, one is 7. I got married late. I was so busy with my career. It came to a point that my father flew in all the way from Manila to Cebu to say, Anak, what's wrong with you? Just tell me the truth. I'll accept you for whatever you are. My mom, on the other hand, is the reason for every breakup in my relationships. Because every time there's a breakup, sir, she is the third party. And my wife, rather my mom, who was a former Miss Philippines a long time ago, please don't say wow. The only thing I inherited from her is the height, nothing else. My mom said, Anak, Miss Philippines will not come knocking at your door. You have to find a way. So I married late in my life. But here's the thing that I wanted to share with you. My eldest son comes up to me one day and embraces me right here in my belly button. And he asks me this question, Dad, are you going to be around for every single one of my basketball games? Yes. Dad, are you going to be around when I graduate college? Yes, I will. Dad, are you going to be around when I fall in love? Yes. Friends, I want to live long enough so I can walk my sons down to the aisle to marry the woman of their dreams. I will not allow someone else to do it. Friends, that is the reason why you and I have to believe in this industry. We need to have a financial spare tire because some of you, you're in the 4th quarter of your lives already. Ouch. Some of you are saying, mag-walk out na ako. Some of you are saying, lumapit ka dito. Dadadyakin kita. But it's true. If you're here in this room today and you're 55 years old, you can't expect your family or children to take care of you. If you're 25 years old and your name is Janice, 25-year-old Janice will have different needs when she's 30. True or true? And sir, if you need the woman of your dreams, you better make sure that you have enough because you wouldn't want her to work abroad when you know that you found the woman of your dreams. Hello? That's the reason why we all need what we call a financial spare tire. Now is now. Tell the person beside you, now is now. Look at this, millennials and even Gen Z are now very open to insurance. Alam mo mga millennials, grabe. When you look at their Shopee and Lazada, ang daming items sa cart. Pero hindi pa nabibili. Why? Because millennials today are the new breadwinners of the family. Sometimes they postpone their own dreams because they know that they have to take care of daddy's dialysis. The Gen Z market, on the other hand, need insurance today. Why? Because they realize that when startups and multinationals build companies in the Philippines, there is no such thing as a perfect, stable company anymore. No company will pay you and protect you for the rest of your life except AIA. This is a business that's far-reaching. There is no limitation except the limits that we set in our minds, my dear friends. Women today are even more vulnerable. Why? Because in reality, there are so many women today who handle money better than men. Sorry, but it's true. That is the reason why husbands have commanders at home. But there are also many single moms today. Can you just imagine? Lupus attacks women more than it does men. And when a woman is sick, who's going to take care of her children? Hello? That is the reason why we need to make sure that we help the workforce or help different kinds of people understand the importance of financial literacy. Are you with me? My dear friends, as Kelvin mentioned earlier, we are a relevant industry. We are an unstoppable industry. We are an in-demand industry. You're in the right place at the right time with the right people in the right company. You did not make a mistake. Are you with me? The thing is, we need to be high touch and we need to be high tech. We've got to marry and merge both so that you and I can succeed. As our boss spoke earlier, ang galing, grabe. You know what? This company is just so amazing. It's growing in leaps and bounds. Why are they investing in the Philippines? Can I just say this? The Philippines is a country known for different B's. Boxing, basketball, bowling, beauty queens. Would you agree? But I say to all of you, this is a rich country. Friends, we are a rich country filled with poor people. People who are not understanding of what it means to be financially literate. Our seas are rich. Kinakalaban tayo ng China because mayaman ang Pilipinas. But can I tell you something? Ask me what? The work ethics and the hospitality of Filipinos is global and world class. You put a Filipino anywhere in the world, even in Antarctica, and I promise you, a Filipino will out-prosper anybody else. Why? Because our work ethics and the quality of our people is second to none. True. That's the reason why AIA Philippines will invest in the Philippines, because they believe in the quality of our people. I tell you what, when you put a Filipino beside an Indian in a BPO, the Filipino will definitely do better. We speak better, don't we? Hello? Don't we?
Yes.
Right? We have to have belief in our industry. Why, friends? Because it's not a lack of opportunity, it's a lack in intentionality. Kung minsan, lahat ng resources nandiyan na, ang kulang is yung action natin. Raise your right hand, please, everybody. Come on. Tell the person on your right, gisingin mo yung katabi mo. Tell the person beside you, kaya na magbago ka na. Raise your left hand, please. Come on, everybody. Tell the person on your left, and tell the person on the left, hoy, mag-exercise ka na. Let's go faster. The next thing I want to talk about is drive. Everybody say drive. We need to have what we call an unstoppable drive. You have to understand, friends, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things in your life that truly matter? What are the priorities in your life that are worth prioritizing? And sometimes we need to understand that it's at the height of your pain that you will truly move. What do I mean by that? Look at this, friends. MOA stands for Mechanism of Action. What is your mechanism of action? What actions are you willing to take every single day? I tell you what, it's easy to set goals, but it's hard to achieve them. Come on. It's easy to design vision boards. It's easy to have illustration boards, but it's hard to fulfill them. Ask me why. Because sometimes what's missing is not the goal. What's missing is the work ethics required to achieve the goal. Friends, we like breakthroughs in our lives, but we're not willing to be broken. We want testimonials in front of the stage about how AA has changed our lives, but we're not willing to be tested. The truth is, friends, it's at the height of your pain that you and I will truly see ourselves grow. You never grow in comfort. You will always grow in pain. Why? Because your comfort zone equals your income zone. I'll say it again. Your comfort zone equals your income zone. If you're comfortable where you are, if you're not rejected on a regular basis, if you're not immune to rejection, it only means one thing. The discomfort will end up making you quit. But if you realize that sometimes pain is a motivator, what's it going to do for you? It's going to make you wake up every single day. That's why it's called mind over mattress. Ang dami po natin mga enablers. My goodness, the marketing team, Mom Gigi, they put together amazing things. Can we give them a big hand, please, everybody? But friends, remember this, the toolbox will be available for you, but if you do not use the tools, it will mean nothing. What you do not use, you will lose. So let's make sure that we maximize these enablers. Are you with me? Yes. And finally, we want to make sure that we have what we call unbreakable commitment. Everybody say commitment. Commitment. I'll tell you what, raise your hand if you have been rejected many times. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Raise your hand if, as you have been rejected many times, it actually gave you resilience so that you can stand up again. Yes? The reason why you're raising your hand, friends, is because rejection gave you resilience and resilience made you successful. In other words, friends, this business is going to equip you and train you to be rejection proof. Why? Because some will, some won't. So what? Someone else is waiting. Are you with me? Yes. Guys, every single no is one step closer to a yes. They may say no to you now, but if you have a very, very good relationship and the last touch point with your client or prospect was amazing or beautiful, that impression will make them knock on your door one day. Another thing that I want to highlight, friends, is the importance of rethinking. Everybody say rethinking. Rethinking. We were mentally programmed as students that IQ is our ticket to success. But you and I know that as we thought about this, we discovered that IQ today is no longer a predictor or a guarantor of success. Yes or yes? You're looking at a man who's not the most intelligent in class, but I was the most strategic because I sat beside the most intelligent person in class. And that is the only reason why I'm here today. But what I'm trying to say is we need to rethink. Kasi dati-dati we said to ourselves, it's impossible to sell insurance if it's not face-to-face. And now we realize that technology is a gift. It's an enabler. It's a maximizer. It's not supposed to be a disruptor or a distractor, but it's actually leverage for you and I. So we need to rethink and remove our wrongful biases. Now, siguro if we have technology, I will be replaced. No, the truth is technology is meant to make your business easier, more convenient, hassle-free, and you save gasoline pa. Are you with us? Eventually, that builds what we call your adversity quotient. Everybody say adversity quotient. Your adversity quotient is your ability to face adversity and stay resilient. You have passion and persistence for long-term goals. And if you do that, then you become someone we call monomaniacal. What's monomaniacal? Some of you are saying, mono, maniac, mono na maniac pa. What's monomaniacal? Mono, singular. Maniacal, obsessed. Singularly obsessed in the industry and the business that you're doing. Which means to say, you cannot do AIA like a secret agent. You've got to be proud of the brand that you represent. Ang problema ngayon mga tao, they're so sigurista. May insurance, may longganisa. Kung ayaw ng longganisa, may panty. Hello? Right? And if it doesn't work, mag-real estate. Are you with me, guys? How can people believe you if you yourself do not believe in the opportunity that you carry beside you? You cannot be a double SIM agent, my friends. You have to be Maniacal. Now, let's put this to the test. I would like you to stand up. Hold on, stand up if you're interested to grow your business in 2022. Stand up if you're interested. Ang dami. Thank you. All right, have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you. Next question. I want you this time to stand up if you are obsessed to make AIA your one and only option that it becomes your business for life. Stand up. Sure? Okay. Stay where you are. Please remain standing. You want to know you. Press the eject button. Listen carefully. Everybody eyes front, please. Guys, eyes front. Look at me. What's the problem? I asked you who's interested, you stood up. I asked you who's obsessed, you stood up. Friends, if you're interested, that's a hobby. If you're interested, that's just a hobby. But if you're obsessed, that means to say, sir, it's a passion. It's a non-negotiable. It's something that you would never, ever give up. Why? Because the level of intensity is higher than an interest. And that means to say that when things are not going well, you will not be tempted to switch to the other side. You will not be tempted to quit and give up and go back to your corporate job because you realize what you do is an obsession. Why? Because you have a passion for our mission. Are you with us? Guys, gumawa sa mga gato dito kayo. Yes! Are you obsessed? Yes! Slap a high five to 5 people around you. Tell them you're amazing. Did you do that? Have a seat. I'm about to end. Have a seat. Thank you. Now, slides, please. Are you learning something? Are you glad that you're here? Yes. Time well spent or time wasted? Well spent. Maybe some of you are saying, ano ba yung snacks natin? Saan hindi yung coffee? Let me finish up. You're going to go through different seasons in your life. I'm going to go through these things really, really quick because I have a flight to catch to Davao for another leg. Next slide, please. So, you're going to go through different seasons. Friends, people today will chase after rewards or recognition. People today understand the lives that we save and the good things that we do for other people, but sometimes people today forget that it is in the furnace of pain that you and I truly grow. Furnace is a difficult time in our lives. The pandemic did that for us. In fact, for Cebuanos like me, we have what we call the Pande Omicron sandwich. And then you have something called movement. Ang daming pagbabago, ang daming changes. Platforms have changed. And that has allowed you to be uncomfortable. And then you have something called restart. Some of you, you have been inactive, you've been invited, and you're here again, and you feel rusty. You don't feel like you have what it takes. You're trying to build up your mindset again. You're going to go through these seasons in your life. I went through this period in my life a few years back when I got invited by someone I absolutely respect and admire. This man is the #1 motivational and leadership speaker in the Philippines. Some of you are saying, sino? Ang daming marites dito. He makes 150,000 pesos per hour. He's got more than 10 books. He invited me in Cebu because he wanted to see if I can be involved in his training agency. I was excited. I was so happy. And so I met him in this beautiful hotel. I sat with him for lunch, and I was really, really excited. But much to my dismay, The words that he had for me were hard and painful. He asked me this question: how many talks do you do in a month? I gave a number. He said, what you do in a month, I do in 4 days. What are your certifications? I gave him one certification, and he goes like, oh, the average certification in my training team is at least 2, and most of them have a master's degree. Do you have one? I was getting uncomfortable. And then he said, what type of audiences do you speak to? And I gave him the kind of crowd that I speak to. So after 30 minutes, he barely touches his plate, and he says, Adrian, I don't think you're ready. You're raw. Besides, we're not in a rush to find a Cebuano. I have enough people in our training pool, in our faculty, who can do the job. You need at least 3 to 4 years to be mature before we can reconsider that you should be part of Inspire. He quietly stood up and he walked away. I didn't know what to say, except call for the waiter and say, who's going to pay for this? Classic Cebuano. I went home, and when I got home, sir, the first person I reported to was my wife. Han, this is what he did. This is what FK did. And you know, my wife said, really? He did that? OMG, I will unfollow him. I will not read his articles. I will not read his books. Nothing, nada, I will not. I said, gosh, my wife is on my side. But the following day when we were having breakfast, my wife was singing to a different tune. She was saying, but what if he's right? But what if you're slow? But what if you're not doing enough? But what if you're not getting certifications? But what if you're not excelling because you're comfortable where you are? Sabi ko sa asawa ko, I thought you were on my side. And here's what my wife said, precisely, I am on your side. That's why I have to tell you the painful truth, because sometimes the truth is hard to swallow and stomach, but it will set you free. My wife, by the way, is in the back, and she is the reason why I'm here today. I'm the only CEO in the country who doesn't get to touch any of what I've earned, because it goes straight to my wife. No, I'm just kidding. And here's the point. Here's the point, friends. I took the adversity like a grain of salt, and immediately, after rethinking, after building a little bit of my AQ, in the next 6 months, we tripled our business. And our business took off in that particular year in 2016. In 2017, I was reunited with FK at the Makati Shangri-La, where I attended his amazing signature leadership course. And then we had a moment, of all places, we had a moment in the men's room. As he zipped his pants, he walks me down the aisle. Too much details, right? He walks me down the aisle and he stops me for a second. He holds me by my arm and he says, Adrian, I have been following you. I have been watching you. Keep going. You're going to be the next John Maxwell of Cebu. I'm trying to hold back tears. I smiled at him and I said, thank you, sir. But sir, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here too. Then he quietly walks away. Sometimes your AM has to be hard on you. Sometimes your UM has to be harder on you. Sometimes your marketing heads have to be tough on you. Why? Because they want to bring out the mediocrity and they want to extract some excuses in your life because they only want to bring out the excellence that is found deep inside of you. Are you with me, guys? These men and women are sandpapers that will help you go through adversity in your life. So now, we understand the importance of AQ. This is Paul Stoltz, and he says that there are 3 kinds of people in this world. The first group of people, these are the ones who are joiners. Everybody say joiners. Joiners. These are the ones who just want to join because they always ask themselves a question, what's in it for me? And then, the second category of people are what you call the campers. They're the ones who stay in the business for a while. Maybe they made some commissions or they hit MDRT. And then later on, 6 months down the line, they start to slow down. Nawalan po sila ng gana. But you also have the third category of people, and these are what you call your climbers, and these are the people who have what we call a monomaniacal mentality, because they understand that their dreams are bigger than their excuses, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Raise your right hand, please, everybody. Tap the person beside you. Tell the person beside you, you are a climber. Elbow the person on your left. Tell the person on your left, not a social climber. So friends, no amount of excuses or external factors can ever stop a driven person from succeeding. There are no factors that can stop you except yourself. Are we learning, guys? So as we wrap things up, I just want to remind all of you leaders a couple of tactics and strategies that you need to work on within the next 48 hours. Number one, I want to encourage you to start a blitz. Guys, don't show up for work tomorrow na parang bagong gising. You've been given the information, take it, run with it. Another thing is make sure that you cast vision to your team. Make sure that you make them understand it's not about the numbers. It's about mission over commission. I want you guys to ensure that your systems are properly duplicated. Guys, selling, they say, is a skill, but not everybody has the skill. If you have the systems, then you will have 100% predictable results. So do not try to reinvent the wheel. Just follow and duplicate the system. I want also all leaders to understand it's important for you to have what we call a psychologically safe environment. Leaders, raise your hand, please. Mga AMs, AMs, look at me guys, AMs. This is so important for all of us. As an agency manager, we need to make sure that we create a psychologically safe environment. I want you guys to care for your people more than case counts, head counts, and numbers. Do not treat people as just another agent. Understand that they came and showed up and became a part of your agency because they wanted to make sure that they achieved their dreams just as you have. Help them get their dreams, and the more people you help, the more successful you become. It's not just about the numbers or metrics. I love this crowd. It's a very energetic crowd. Don't forget about activating people. Don't just guide them in the coaching or in the training journey, but walk with them by the hand and help them understand their why. In this life, my friends, nagkakagulo po tayo kung walang Wi-Fi. Ano Wi-Fi? Ano password? Nagkakagulo tayo, but guys, you cannot afford to live this life wireless. You need to have an indestructible why, because your why is your North Star. It's what gets you out of bed every day. It's what makes you fight excuses every single day. Wear your coaching hat. Great leaders are leaders who will teach others. Why? Good leaders produce followers. Great leaders reproduce other leaders. This is a business of leadership. Yes or yes? Lord, I love this crowd, Lord. This crowd has something called DR, delayed reaction. Guys, manage your time wisely. Focus on the top 20%. Work on your power legs. Because when you build a power leg, the entire group also starts to grow, and that creates momentum for your team. And lastly, be a person of integrity. If you made a promise, fulfill the promise. Your competence, your car, your Rolex, your trips around the world, the shoes that you wear, that's impressive. But what truly attracts people is influence. And to be influential, you need to be a person of character, a person of integrity. Nobody will follow a shady leader. People will follow a leader that they absolutely love. Be the kind of leader you wish you had, and aim to be the leader you've always wanted to be. Thank you for the yes. Please give her a box of snacks. Oh. For the emerging leaders who are here, wala pa akong skills, coach. Kaya nga kailangan natin ng skills. It's like wasabi, it's an acquired taste. It's like durian, it's an acquired taste. I dare say that durian is the forbidden fruit in the Bible. But anyway, master skills. Why? Because this is a natural confidence builder. Understand also that you have to know your customers well. We need to make sure that we put our customers front and center. Do not design a plan for the sake of the cut or commission that you get out of it. Instead, design a plan because you know it addresses the pain point of the customer. Don't just be in it because you know malaki ang kita dyan. Be in it because you know at the end of the day, this plan will solve a problem for the customer. And the more problem solving you are, the more referrals you will have. This is a numbers game. If you're talking to 5 people a week, chances are 1 will say, I'll think about it. But if you increase your numbers to 20, what happens is your batting average, the ratios are a lot higher. So increase your ratios. Use the lead generation tools that we're giving you in AIA Philippines. You've got to teach people about money. But here's the most important thing as well. You need to show congruence in your life. Friends, parang awa niyo na. You cannot convince people to be financially literate if you are broke all the time. Stop buying things that you don't need to impress people you don't necessarily like. Does that make sense? Just because you're a financial advisor doesn't mean you have to be branded from head to toe. Are you with me? Because you cannot afford to be broke, because if you're broke, there is no convincing factor. There is no persuasion coming in your life. Why? Because the blind can't lead the blind. We have to be the kind of people who embrace financial literacy by being a product of the product and a testifier of what happened in our lives. They can see through the fakeness of our lives if there's no congruence in our lives. Are you following?
Yes.
It's so hard to speak in front of all of you guys who are hungry already. We Filipinos, we cannot tell if it's a fake Salvatore Ferragamo or Louis Vuittones. But we can tell if it's a fake person wearing a fake Rolex. Do not be fake. There has to be congruence in your lives. You have to be a role model for what you believe in. You have to be the first advocate because people can smell and see through your life. Please bring people who are hungry, motivated, humble, willing to be corrected. Don't bring in an executive who says, ang dami kong connections, pero hindi naman teachable. Don't bring someone into the business who is a know-it-all. Satya Nadella of Microsoft, he says, he's the CEO, he says, it's time for us to realize that as leaders, we should not be know-it-alls, but we should be learn-it-alls. If you bring someone in the business na nagsasabi, alam ko na yan, hindi po nila alam. Why? Because they are laced with so much pride in their lives. It has become their form of insecurity to prove that they know everything when the truth is they know nothing. And when you are struggling, show them babangon ka. Show them tatayo ka. Show them hindi ikaw yung klaseng tao na nag-give up dayon. Dayon, this is Bisaya by the way. Give up on that jerk. That jerk that you love for so long, who actually loves someone else. You're better off being a single mom, caring for a beautiful child, than staying engaged and married to a jerk who cannot be loyal and faithful. And can I tell you this? I want to tell you this, guys. Be loyal to your family. Be loyal to your dreams and your aspirations. If it comes to a point that you're going to leave AIA Philippines, just know one thing. This company will be forever loyal to you. This company will deliver on its promise. This is not a real estate company. This is not a company that will build a 40-foot structure with broken spaces. This is a company that says, if we will do this, we will live up to it. This is what AIA is all about. That's the reason why we have a great mission. And our mission, ladies and gentlemen, is not just about healthier, longer, better lives. We have a financial vaccine in our hands. If you have an answer to a financial problem that everyone is struggling with, why wouldn't you share it? Let alone, why would you be ashamed of it? You have an answer, friends. It's okay if they reject you, but one day they will come knocking at your door. We have a great mission and vision, and we cannot do it alone, friends. That is the reason why we need to remind you the power of one more. Everybody say one more.
One more.
This is a fantastic movie that I encourage you to watch. It's about a soldier, his name is Desmond Doss, who believed that he doesn't have to carry a rifle to protect himself because he realized by his faith that his number one mission is to save lives. And so at the Great War in Okinawa between the Japanese and the Americans, we find Desmond Doss without a rifle, running in every single corner where his comrades were badly wounded by Japanese soldiers. And he would grab one person at a time and bring them to the other side for safety. Every time he would grab a person and transfer them to safety, he would lie down on the ground and he would speak to Almighty God, and he would say, one more, God, just give me one more. Well, friends, on that particular day, he was able to save 75 people without a single rifle. Because of that prayer, God, give me one more. Well, AIA Philippines, I hope that's your prayer. I hope you will say, give me one more. One more call. One more presentation. One more leader. One more case count. One more, God, just give me one more. Why? Because, friends, it's about time that we have to realize it's time for you and I to stop thinking about how much we can make. But we should be thinking about how much more lives we can save. That is the priority. Somebody came up to me one day and asked me, Adrian, how do I make $1 million pesos? What do I do? I say, find 1 million people that you can serve and you will make $1 million pesos. Stop thinking about the money, start thinking about the people. I will close and I promise I will shut up because I got a flight to catch. But this is an amazing, iconic picture that you will find in Time magazine, taken by a Pulitzer Award winner. His name is Ken Carter. He was in Africa and he took this shot where he finds a child dying because of hunger. And what this child is doing is the child is crawling his way to a nearby village where they're actually serving food. And Ken Carter was out there from a distance and he was briefed that you should never ever touch the child because a disease might pass on to you. So he snapped this moment with so much precision and accuracy to the point that there was a vulture ready to devour the child. Well, friends, here's what happened. He took the picture, he published it, it came out in Time magazine, and the year after he won the award. But 4 months after he won the award, friends, he got depressed because it started to haunt him. Why didn't I save the child? Why didn't I do anything? I won a prize, but I'm empty. The child died and he won, but after 4 months, after going through depression, he writes a note to be discovered by his family and he takes his own life. Friends, I challenge all of you to be successful. But to be successful, friends, is personal. There's something bigger than success. It's called significance. Significance, friends, is when you choose to put others ahead of yourself. Because sometimes in life, we all want to be MDRT. We want to be TOT. We want all these titles, DVD, VCD, PhD, whatever. But I want you to aspire to be significant. I want you to aspire for bigger things, because when you fight for significance, you will feel so alive. You will feel so alive, and life will be so meaningful for you. Yes? Whew. So, unshakable belief, unstoppable drive, and an unbreakable commitment. These are all the things that we need to drive momentum. But as I did my study, I discovered that there's one more thing that I didn't add to the list. Can I share it with you? Galing na kayo. Can I share it with you? I want to play a short video for you guys. Because this video is going to remind you that everything has been given, but we still need to strive. You see, that's you. This is your opportunity. This is your team. Lahat na nabigay po sa atin. The question is, what are we going to do next? We drive. But did you know, guys, that for Michael Schumacher to be successful in driving, he needs to listen carefully to the small voice of his coach. You see, his coach sees the track in full macro view. Michael sees only what's in front of him. And so as he carefully listens to the voice of his coach, he's able to maneuver every single corner such that even in a wet, rainy environment, Michael Schumacher will be able to outpace everybody else. That voice is so important. What is that voice? Let's dim the lights. I'm going to ask the lady to help me play my video. This is the video. Let's dim the lights. Let's watch this, please. Go ahead. Press the button here. There's a man here who's a fantastic athlete, and he competes all his life just to get rejected, and finally, after so many years of hard work, he makes it to the Olympics. All right? So this is his story of how he was able to push in the final lap. Guys, you should watch this. Okay? Please play it. Lord, please. sorry I ruined your makeup. I'm sorry that you lost your eyeliner. And for some of you, kilay is life. But sometimes in life, kahit hirap-hirap na tayo, I want you guys to know that there's a Father who loves you. There's a Father who believes in you even before you believed in yourself. There's a Father who gives you strength and picks you up each time you fall. That even if you wanted to quit, there is not enough excuse or reason to do so, because you know that He will raise you up. I'm talking about a Father and a God who loves you so much that He's got plans to prosper you, not to harm you, but to give you a hope and a future. I want to ask a person to come up on stage and do me a favor, preferably an AM, an agency manager. Just quickly, one person. Could you do that? Could you come up, please? Please come up on stage. This is not staged, by the way, but this is just really to remind everybody our calling. You see, friends, this glass over here, Mom, if you could just hold it up. Like that, take this hand out. This glass over here, friends, represents your life, represents your career, represents your fire and your passion for the business. When you saw AIA Philippines years ago, you said, that's the opportunity I've been praying for. But you know what, ma'am? In reality, we can all agree, hindi po madali yung negosyo. True or true? It has been difficult. I know what you've gone through, because in reality, you've been here for quite some time, and 34 years, thank you for coaching me. But in reality, sometimes we have downlines who leave us. We have clients that we've been courting for years, and yet, malapit na po sana yung yes, but they move to a competitor. We've been in the business we're in. We were told by our children, mag-give up ka na lang, mami. Ano ba? We'll take care of you. Pero sabi ko, hindi. Kaya ko pa. Tatayo pa ako. As long as I have breath, I know I can do this. You show them your confidence, but in your own room, you cry. You break in tears because you realize, ang hirap ng negosyo. Sometimes you have family members and relatives who become your dream stealers. Sometimes people say, alam mo, mag-quit ka na lang, mag-water filling station ka na lang, mag-potato corner ka na lang. Tapos sinabi mo, ayoko mag-potato corner. That's the reason why they're always in the corner. Eh, yung negosyo namin, global kami. But in reality, friends, you say to yourself, my gosh, ang hirap talaga. There are so many challenges preventing you from making it to the final lap, which is why sometimes it's hard to push, isn't it? And so you share to the world that your life is great when the truth is there's struggles on the inside. And even if we're coming from a fantastic, phenomenal September, we cannot deny the fact that this business does not come easy for us. True or true? So when everybody looks at your life, parang iced tea, kulong na lang ice. But in reality, life is hard. So what do? For those of you in this room today who are just on the verge of giving up, this is your last straw. For those of you agency managers who are finding the life again to recharge yourself so that you can start and finish the year strong, what must we do? Here's what I discovered. You see, friends, the problems and the challenges we have in our lives are only temporary. Because at the end of the day, friends, when we realize that we have the right, what we call mindset, heart set, and skill set, what happens is the problems that we go through makes us realize rather, that we can start fresh and we can face whatever challenges we go through. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes. Right? But just because you attend this conference, ma'am, does not guarantee that you're going to have a storm-free life. There will still be uncertainty, there will still be issues, there will still be inflation. But as long as you have the right mindset, heart set, and skill set, my friends, my dear friends in AIA, You remain bulletproof in your business. You will continue to become bigger, better, and stronger. Are you with me, guys?
Yes!
That represents challenges. So you might be wondering, Coach, ano ginawa mo? Ano yung magic na yan? Teach me so I can do it at home with my kids. Sorry, can't. And will not share. But I just put something in there that starts with letter C. That C stands for commitment. But for me, that C stands for Christ.
Amen.
Only Christ, only God can make all things work out. For what will it profit us if we so succeeded in everything that we do only to forfeit our soul? Yes or yes? And so as I close today, friends, remember what drives momentum? Unshakable belief, unstoppable drive, unbreakable commitment, and above all, unconditional faith. We need to have a soul set that ties everything together. And if you have that, I promise you, you will have momentum not just for this quarter, but for quarters and quarters to come. Maraming salamat. Pakinggan po natin siya. Can I invite everyone to please stand up right now as we close this talk, my talk? All right? Stand up if you're obsessed and not just interested. Come on, everyone, stand up. Look at the person beside you. Check if the person beside you still has energy. Check that. Kaya ba? Hello? What does AIA stand for? Amazing, inspiring, achievers. Now, all achievers have a battle cry, right? The greatest army ever assembled were the Spartans. And the Spartans always had this cry or this cheer just when they're about to head out for battle. Well, friends, the moment you leave these doors, you're headed for battle. You're headed for battle. The battle of EDSA. The battle of excuses. The battle of procrastination, and so on and so forth. But we're going to wage the battle against these things. And so I'm going to invite you guys to follow with me. When I shout and ask you, AIA Philippines, what's your profession? I want you guys to shout, I'm a leader. You got it?
Yes.
I'm a leader, I'm a lifesaver. Could you do that?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Yes.
And then we're going to shout, aho, aho, aho 3 times. Kaya?
Yes.
Can we practice it?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Hey, Philippines, what's your profession?
I'm a leader.
I'm a lifesaver. Aho, aho, aho. One more time. Are you ready? This time with music. Pag sumayaw naman kayo guys para maganda tingnan sa video. Are you? All right? Here we go. Music ready. Here we go. Everybody, here we go. Everybody make some space. Here we go. Clench your fist. Don't elbow the person beside you. Clench your fist. Here we go. Hey, Philippines, what's your profession?